Lou, how would you assess Xavien Howard's performance last week, and is that something that you have to look at and consider if it's tenable going forward?
Yeah, I think we will evaluate everybody every game. Certainly, X is a player on the team, so he's certainly going to get evaluated. Credit to the Rams and their receivers and Matthew, who I think Stafford is one of the better quarterbacks that have been around and certainly worthy of Hall of Fame consideration at some point, I would say. But not only X, but everybody will always be evaluated, each week and based on a performance. And we'll always take a look at all those things and move forward accordingly.
And then one follow-up: were you satisfied with his effort in finishing plays Sunday?
I mean, I think again, it's not just one guy. I think if you put the microscope on one person, everybody can always finish maybe better here or there. I think he had some plays where he did finish well, and there's others that we know he can do better for sure.
Amanda.
Hey Lou, with Nick Cross, feels like he's kind of been able to be everywhere so far this season, had a couple sacks. Just what have you seen from him in adjusting to the defense that you run and then the plays that he's been able to make so far?
Well, he's been a force, certainly, had a bunch of tackles on Sunday, and has done that so far early in the season. We're counting on him to be that way, and can continue to be disruptive when we blitz him. He caused another sack this week, and we like what he's about. We like where he's heading, and we're going to continue to use him in that manner.
Jake.
Hey Lou, were you surprised at how much you were able to get Mike Hilton on the field on Sunday? It felt like Mekhi Blackman, that had been there a while, but Hilton, it seemed like played pretty much throughout the entire day.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, Mike's been in the system for a long time and he kind of showed up and knows what to do immediately and has played at a high level at that position. So, I think they're two different guys, Mackay and Mike, in their skill set. And, Mike has been a heck of a player around the line of scrimmage in this league for a long time. So, doesn't anything he does doesn't surprise me.
Steven.
Hey Lou, how you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm wondering if you can, just for the sake of like clarity for the fans, if
Yeah.
you kind of give us or walk us through just quickly what happens when you make a call. You had 10 guys on the field, right? On the touchdown. You make a
Yes.
call, then what is the flow of information from there, I guess?
Yeah, it's something that certainly I take full responsibility for. I know Shane had said something, but that's on me. And as a group, uh, I take full responsibility for that play. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable in high school, never mind in the NFL. So that'll never happen again. I'll be on top of it and making sure that we've got the proper guys in the proper spots so that certainly we don't ever, never mind give up an 88-yard touchdown pass. Whether there's 11 guys on the field, that might have been a challenge on that particular play. But we won't have to worry about that again going forward.
I guess you just kind of alluded to this there, but I mean, do you think that was just a matter of the defender falling down, or was the 10 men a
Yeah.
factor, do you think?
Well, we were going to double Puka with the other guy that was out there. So,
Mhm.
Cam would have been cheating over there a little bit more to the side of the play, but
Right.
unfortunately, Mackay got tangled up with Atwell's feet, and you fall down in man coverage, and it's it doesn't, and again, I'm not trying to put anything on Mackay. We've got to have 11 guys out there. At the end of the day, that's on me. It won't happen again.
Thanks a lot.
Cap, go ahead.
If you would just you scheme for every game, what was the decision in not putting Mooney on Puka and primarily and going elsewhere?
Yeah, well, I mean, they got two elite receivers. They both had the same targets coming into the game. One had 35, one had 31, I think, so very similar. Puka had more catches, but the targets were the same. And I think at the end of the day, they were going to attack the way they attack regardless. So I think that, that was we got a veteran in Devontae Adams. Certainly Puka's a guy that we thought we can match up nobody can match up with him, but we were trying to help over there too. So, I think that at the end of the day, that was the reason why we did it. Mooney on Devontae. And then there were certain times where we were just left and right, and it just played into it the way the matchups ended up. So, but the targets were even coming in, and I think Matthew just found something in the rhythm of it. And, there was a lot of underneath throws. He did hit the one double move, excuse me, later in the game, but we just got to do a better job overall.
When you said they would have attacked either way, so what you're sort of alluding to is they would have thrown away from Mooney wherever he was.
I mean, potentially, I think that when you look at how it all shook out, but you never know what the other team's going to do, but certainly, that could have been the case. I'm not 100% sure what I can't speak for them.
Thanks, Lou.
Just a few more here. Joel.
Lou, at a time when Wadabare had a kind of a big game for you guys, how big would it be to get him a consistent kind of extra interior presence as a penetrator?
Yeah, very, very pleased. We had a group of guys that we thought, did some good things, excuse me, the other day. And, certainly you gain, by the way you play, you gain more playing time. And, that certainly is, I was pleased with the way Tommy played. He does a great job on special teams as well. So he's got a great role for us as a teams player as well as on defense. So I was pleased there, and certainly he has gained maybe some extra reps for sure.
Kevin, go ahead.
Lou, I know we've asked you a lot about pass rush here in the first month. The numbers seem pretty good on Sunday. What did you think of your pressure?
Yeah, it felt good. We kept them off balance, early. I think, the yards got up on us, certainly when you have explosives like we did, that when you give up explosives, it gets skewed that way, and he threw for too many yards. That's not acceptable. But I did like the pressure we put on him. And, Z dropped into coverage one time off of a pressure look, and we almost got that pick. So we just got to keep it up. We had three, and you average that, you're going to do all right this year. So,
And then going back to X, do you chalk it up to just rust after not playing, or do you feel like it's more than that?
well, I think just a combination of all of it. You're playing against an elite passing team with two elite receivers and a quarterback, and then at some point, we've got to rust or no rust. We've got to make sure we're out there and we're guarding the guys that we're tasked to guard. And we all got to do a better job, not just X, but me, everybody.
We'll go Jake and then finish out with Bob.
Are you still waiting for someone to kind of grab a stranglehold of that will spot, or do you like this rotation that you got going on, or ideally would you have someone who's kind of static there next to Z?
Sure. I mean, I think in a perfect world, you'd have, one guy out there that does it, but I kind of we're falling into a little bit of a flow now, and I like the guys that are rolling through there, and we'll see how it goes. But if we have to have a couple guys man one spot, there's nothing wrong with that. The more guys that can have roles on the defense, the more it will help, because those guys are also involved in special teams, and if the rep count gets high for one reason or the other, and then they can do different jobs, whatever package it may be. So far so good, and it doesn't bother me doing it that way.
Thanks.
And Bob, last question.
Yeah, Lou, Latu seemed to have a breakout game. I know he's been looking good on film
Yeah.
all the way to this point. But what did you see from him on Sunday, and where do you see his development at this point?
To your point, I think it's a good one that he's shown to affect the quarterback early in the season, and he kind of finished some the other day, and I think he's just getting closer and closer. I always go back to with Latu that it is he's a football player first, and just his savviness, his feel for the game, that's going to get him to be a potential high sack guy. But I love the way he set the edge. I love how he ran to the ball. He was a force in the run game as well as the rush that you saw. And he really has a savviness when he drops. We saw the pick he had in Miami. He had a couple of really good plays on Sunday that way. So I'm a big Latu fan, as you guys know, and I think he'll continue to improve as the season goes on.
Thank you.